Oh, well. Time to do the trial, I guess. See how well this goes. Let's also see if who's sitting next to who. Well, I guess not sitting, because sitting would imply... Because it's always standing, which is terrible now that I think about it, because...
Let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial.
Yes, please.
The objective here is simple. Explain how the murder took place. Using evidence you've gathered during the investigation, you will argue what you believe happened to the victim. Should you all agree on the right answer, you will be free to leave this place. Should you all agree on the wrong answer, well, you'll find out. That's all there is to it. Have fun, everybody.
So is this like the Zero's hint to of a Zero Time Dilemma? Or if you get the right heads or tails, you can leave?
Somebody, get me out of here.
No.
If this is something we must discuss, I know a good place to start.
Get me out of here, 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 get me out of here!
Should have Grace.
Somebody get me out of here!
I mean, she was being disruptive.
What happened to her? Oh shit! They fried her brain!
She kind of needed it.
Calm down, it's only a shock. She won't suffer any permanent side effects. If I wanted to see the brain dead bigger, I'd just turn on the telly.
Pretty much, yeah.
On that note, please, carry on.
Holy crap, the people running this thing aren't playing around.
As you were saying, Wolfgang?
Right. The way I see it, the objective of this
Hold on. Whoa. The height difference between Wolfgang, Eloise, and Cassidy.
By the way, can I get like a seat with this thing?
Yeah, no, I agree. Standing around would be tiring. But no, you be quiet.
I'm just gonna be an onlooker. It's only fair.
That's a good point.
You're seriously not going to contribute?
What am I even supposed to do?
Put your detective hat on, buddy. We're here to solve a mystery.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, who murdered that dummy chick, right?
Not who murdered her, how they murdered her.
Did that tablet not explain it?
It listed her wounds, yes, but it didn't explain how they were inflicted.
Yeah.
Probably because it's so obvious.
If it's so obvious, then what's your explanation?
But, Miss Amber, you didn't even read the tablet.
And I don't have to.
Then answer the question.
Would you look at that? A debate's already underway.
Jean, there's not a time. Zap her again, please. These guys are clearly confused. I need to stop them before they arrive at the wrong conclusion. Oh gosh, do you hear that? That's the sound of a non-stop debate approaching. During a non-stop debate, a classmate will speak one after another without interruption. Students may say things that contradict the truth, and they're using V3's logic of just having it split around. Find your ammo, use the thrift bullets. Yeah. Right heat to fire. Apply contradiction, maybe hiding weak point. Careful about the classmate statement, the evidence you gathered, use the correct. Yeah, okay, cool. Spacebar to concentrate. Revisit the controls, F3. Cool. That looks cool. That's alright, so we're only getting one because it's the first
The
time.
mystery was never about who killed Cara, but how she died.
Is that true?
Interesting that Wolfgang refers to everyone
It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
by their last names
I
except...
didn't get a good look at the crime scene, but the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilt that blood? Besides that big, scary gun!
Obviously not.
Ah, that's right. There was a
Oh,
gun.
I'm using the wrong
You hear that,
button.
Maya Man? She agrees.
Wolfgang is now in shock. Okay, so yeah, it's right click. I mean, hitting left click. Loudest voice in the room. Oh no, is the smartest. That is so relatable. Fortunately, an uninformed argument is never difficult to shoot down.
The mystery was never
Okay.
about who killed Cara, but
Is there a way to speed
how
this
she
up? 'Cause
died.
it only sets space to slow down.
Objection! It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene, but the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilt that blood?
I mean, she's right, it could have, but it
besides
didn't.
That big scary gun. Ah,
And I
that's
missed.
Right. There was a gun.
Is there not a way to speed this
You
up?
hear that, liar man? She agrees.
I do love how that's phrased though. She agrees. Oh no, what's happened? It's on auto. Oh, space and auto. Okay.
The mystery was never about who killed Cara, but how she died.
Is that true? Objection! It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
No.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene.
No.
But the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilt that blood? Besides that big scary gun.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Cassidy, can you stop butting in? You barely investigated the crime scene to begin with.
I mean, it's only fair. If you didn't investigate, you don't speak.
Whoa, what? I searched that place from top to bottom.
Not really. You did one reference that I didn't even understand and then left.
Alright, then tell me, how is a fully loaded assault rifle used as the murder weapon?
That's easy. It wasn't.
Then why did you say it was? Also, your hand is glitching through the podium.
Obviously, the shooter reloaded their gun to full capacity.
Then why leave it there?
Any smart shooter could tell you that. Right, Desmond?
Why are you bringing me into this?
Except, the victim suffered multiple stab wounds to the torso. If the gun was fired, not only should the body have had bullet wounds, but there would be shell casings from the fired bullets. We saw neither at the crime scene.
Details.
Yes, that's the kind of the details that we need.
If the gun didn't do that, chicken, what was the actual murder weapon?
I mean, technically, I suppose the knife wounds, but the actual murder weapon, that's obvious. The knife. The bucket.
I got it.
It probably is the bucket in some way, because obviously it had bleach inside.
Knife. It's just so blatantly obvious. It was literally right next to the victim's body.
Why so Cam's razor gotta ruin everything?
Because it's Occam's razor. That's why. Why would you not expect Cassidy?
Interesting. Both the knife and the rifle were present at the crime scene, but only the knife was used.
Kind of weird choosing the inferior weapon.
We don't know the situations of the event though.
Nothing beats the sting of a sharpened blade.
That sounds a bit weird.
If the killer didn't use the rifle, why was it at the crime scene?
Maybe it came from inside the closet.
Maybe.
Don't see why you'd be storing a gun in a janitor's closet.
Man, I don't know. What if it's not even related to the murder?
That honestly sounds like the easiest answer so far, so.
Of course it's related. It's covered in blood.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't used in the murder itself. It was just there.
No. Everyone's starting to yell.
That's the whole point of a conversation, well, an argument or a debate. This debate is getting it's getting out of control so fast. I need to say something.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
I bet that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
That's like your opinion, lady.
If the gun was broken, then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them.
That's
and
true.
Yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Right, it's easy to assume the killer was the one holding the gun, but considering the details of the victim's death, I'm inclined to think otherwise.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
I bet that gun didn't even work.
Didn't work.
These days, it's all about aesthetics
Hold
over
on.
effectiveness.
Tablet. Stab wound, bloody knife. Victim's hands. No, we only have bloody knife and tablet, right? No, we have the assault rifle and tablet. Tablet, suffered chemical burns from the head. Cause of death of blood loss.
That's like your opinion, lady.
If the gun was broken, then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
yet,
the killer.
They
Okay.
did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Okay, so we'd have to... It's... Winona, we have to...
To
counter.
reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife.
Is it the...
Odd choice.
Assault rifle, maybe? I'm
I
assuming.
bet that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
Damon
That's
does have a
like
good
your
thinking
opinion,
sprite,
lady.
though, by the
If
looks
the
of it.
gun was broken, then...
Nope.
Are you out of it? That has nothing to do with...
Okay.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Tablet,
Yet
maybe.
they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
There is a way to speed up. Okay, shift to speed up. Ah, damn it.
Be for the aesthetic.
Okay, cool.
That gun didn't. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
And
That's
then...
like your opinion.
If the gun was broken, then the killer...
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Stop that thought right there. If we keep assuming the killer had the gun, we'll end up running in circles.
Basically, yeah, the victim had it.
What? You think the killer was unarmed?
No, the killer had the knife.
No, they were definitely armed. With the knife. The reason they didn't use the gun is probably because they never had it to begin with.
But then, who did?
The victim, the only person involved.
Easy. The victim.
Whoa, the dummy had the gun?
Yes.
If it wasn't the killer, it has to be her. She must have brought it to the closet. She was probably carrying it before the murder, but dropped it when the killer attacked her.
Makes sense.
Oh, I guess that makes some sense.
Complete sense.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Aren't you overlooking something?
Like what?
Huh?
The victim was stabbed from the front, meaning she could have seen the killer coming, correct?
Yes.
If so, why didn't she shoot them?
No, she couldn't have seen them. Because she had chemical burns on her eyes.
A stealth attack! I bet the killer memorized her AI movements.
Cassidy, now's not the time.
That girl must have been killed before she had the chance to defend herself.
That's not technically true. There's evidence of a struggle between the victim and the killer.
Specifically evidence that shows the victim attempted to fight back. Victim's hands, right?
This is it. We found dry blood under the victim's fingernails, which implies she was clawing at her attacker. Of course, no explanation is definitive without photo proof of the killer, but I'm confident this is what happened.
Why would you resort to scratching when you're carrying a gun?
Did something get in the way of her using it?
Yes, the chemical burns in her eyes.
Wonder if that killer stole it from her.
She should have seen or heard him coming from the hallway at the very least.
Why do you think she was in the hallway?
That's where the fight happened, right?
No, I don't believe so.
I think you're getting ahead of yourself. How can we be sure the fight happened there?
Maybe the fight started in the hallway, and after it ended, her body was dragged into the closet.
But the door was open, so it wasn't really dragged into there.
If that happened, shouldn't there have been streaks of blood on the floor or in the hallway?
Drag marks. Can't say I saw any.
It was merely a jest. No need to take it so seriously.
Right.
Instead of dragging the victim, what if the killer carried her?
Then the killer would be covered in blood.
I don't know why they would want to do that, but it would explain the lack of drag marks.
But then, wouldn't the killer have been covered in...
Blood. Aye. It should have gotten everywhere. Those wounds were brutal. A few inches deep, I reckon. Carrying her would have done nothing to stop the blood flow.
Good point.
True.
She was obviously killed in the closet. That's where the blood was?
There was only below the door frame, I recall.
Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry for derailing the conversation.
It's okay, Elise. Thank you for contributing and trying your best.
Moving on. That fight. The victim had the gun, but she was overpowered?
Technically?
If she wanted to, she could have just... You know.
Nope, she couldn't have.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
There must be something that we're missing. Something explains how the victim was overpowered. And I know I'm the only one who can figure that out. I don't know, Wolfgang could probably... Yeah, alright. I'll talk about agree points. Basically the same, which we've already had some. Cool. So it's, I'm gonna assume it's, right, tablet.
That slimy killer pulled a fast one and knocked the gun out of her
Nope.
hand.
Anyone else says anything about eyes?
Those two did have a crazy tussle.
But she still carried a gun. So why didn't she shoot?
She couldn't see.
I bet that girl didn't even see them
Oh,
coming.
no! God damn it.
Maybe
Okay,
she thought
Jean.
the killer was her friend?
Doubt.
Victim's not shooter attacker, everyone's got a theory, but the actual answer. Okay, Sean.
But she's...
Didn't even...
There we go.
I got it.
Thanks, Captain. Okay. We're making progress now.
John actually has a point. The victim probably couldn't see what was going on. According to the tablet, she suffered chemical burns to the face and eyes. That sort of injury would have effectively blinded her.
Pretty much.
Also, inside the janitor's closet, there was a large empty bottle of bleach.
Which Desmond
Probably
found.
the chemical that caused the burns.
Blinded? With bleach? That's horrible.
We don't know what situation they were in to cause the murder.
All that pain, yet she still managed to fight back?
I mean, life or death.
She sure put up a struggle. Without a gun, I guess the next best thing was her hand.
So the killer was definitely the one who blinded her.
Indeed. Knowing she had a gun, he blinded her to make her less dangerous. Then, when he pinned her against the door and stabbed her, she tried to retaliate.
Until eventually dying from her wounds.
Seems like it.
Jeez, this is brutal. Couldn't they have toned down the violence?
It's murder. How could they have toned it down?
The past is in the past, and we can't change that. All we can do is solve her untimely death, eh?
Well, we're not solving who, we're only solving how.
I mean, by the sounds of it, we've already figured it out, right?
Well, how did they get blind? How did they blind her?
No. Not yet.
Seriously?
But we've already discussed so much!
Not really.
We know she was armed. We know she was blinded. We figured out how she died. How is this not a closed case?
Please understand, I'm proud of everyone's hard work so far. Because of you, we're one step closer to bringing the victim justice.
This was never about the dummy.
However, we should think of this case like an equation. Knowing how it works is only half the struggle. Now we need to figure out why.
Why?
As in, the motive?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
You're
question.
on the right track.
You speak like we have any information on the killer. The man's a stock image. He doesn't even have a name.
That's true.
What are we supposed to ascertain from that? That he's a non-character?
Not every answer will be written down for you. Sometimes actions speak louder than...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the phone!
Oh,
Grace?
Glad for you to join us, Grace.
What? Since when was Grace back to normal?
Right now, soybean. Watching you guys try to solve this mystery has been like watching a dumpster catch on fire.
Can we shock her again?
I guess all that smoke must have clouded your vision, 'cause there's a big-ass elephant in this room.
What is it?
An elephant in the room?
That's giving us too much credit.
So the killer incapacitated that girl. She had a gun, it makes total sense. Problem is, you've yet to explain how he used the bleach.
Thank you.
I sort of assumed he spilled it on the victim.
Nope.
Right. He just tipped the bottle over her.
That would mean he was inside the janitor's closet before the victim was.
That bottle is where the bleach came from, sure. But I doubt the bottle itself was involved in the murder. When we found it, it was neatly ordered on a shelf near the back of the closet.
Yep.
The gun and knife were just thrown on the floor. So it's weird this weapon was handled so differently.
Do you think the killer just poured the contents of that bottle into something else?
Yes, the bucket.
Sure, before the actual murder took place, I'd say.
And what is this something else?
The bucket.
Go on. Explain it before this dumpster turns molten.
She's really stubborn about this, but I get the point she's trying to yeah. Before we move on from the subject, we need to make sure its logic is completely sound. Alright then, let's put out this fire. Bucket time.
Well,
Nope.
if the original bottle's been emptied, where'd the bleach go?
Into the bucket.
Into another bottle?
What about a container?
Would it be
There were
container?
a bunch in the closet.
I bet the killer had a secret water gun. So when the victim came in, pow!
Always go for the water gun, because then people would think it's like too childish.
Hey! The ink vanishes when the battle's over.
Call the fire brigade, Grace.
That was a good one, Mark. So container, right, with Ingrid?
If the original bottle's been emptied.
Into...
What about a container?
I got it.
There we go. Okay.
She's correct.
You could put
killer
chemicals into the bucket.
Or, more specifically, the same bucket we found at the crime scene. After all, it reeked of bleach. If the killer didn't use it to transport bleach, what else did they use it for? Personal cleaning? I doubt it.
Yo, that makes sense.
Of course it makes sense.
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Give yourself more credit, Ingrid. You're not a broken clock.
Okay, cool. So, how'd the killer use that bucket to spill bleach in the victim's eyes?
Now that's something I haven't figured out yet.
It would be a fairly heavy bucket, so it's unlikely he threw it on her.
She'd shoot him before he even had the chance. Use your brain, mate.
Of course, my apologies.
I mean, Wolfgang's actually been keeping us organized. Damon's been moving us forward. It's a good question. How was the killer able to get a hefty bucket of chemicals into the victim's eyes, especially without her knowing? There must be some kind of clue missing here. Think, Damon, think.
Even if he did manage to splash her, the girl should have sustained intense facial burns. However, aside from her eyes, her face was relatively untouched.
Well, if you check the tablet, it said she had burns to the scalp, too.
Burns to the scalp? How does that work? Unless those chemicals came from above?
They, like a prank, they set it up. They set the bucket above the door frame.
Did the killer somehow suspend the bucket in the air?
So when the victim walked into
Maybe there was a mechanism that made it tip over when someone entered the room.
Yeah.
Where's this bucket supposed to be again?
Above. Which... well... could mean anything.
Considering you're an influencer, I think you would know about these kind of prank stuff.
Was the killer hiding above the door frame?
No, probably down the hallway.
There's no way they were up there. There's nothing for them to sit or hold on to. Not to mention, they couldn't have stabbed her from up there.
And if there's no place for the killer to sit, then there's no place for the bucket to sit.
Unless you take into account the size difference. The space above the entrance might not be able to support a person, but it could still support something as small as a bucket.
And that thing supporting the bucket?
The door itself. The killer wanted for two things: for the bucket to be above the victim, and for it to spill on her when she entered the room. In other words, he needed it to balance the bucket, but on what? The actual door.
I got it. I don't know how we overlooked this, but I've got it. The killer just balanced the bucket on the door.
Like in those water bucket pranks people film?
Yep.
Exactly. When the victim came into the room, she pushed open the door and caused the bucket to fall on her. This would make it so she couldn't shoot back or even get a chance to see her assailant. When the bucket hit the ground, it probably rolled away. That'd explain why we found it a couple feet from the victim.
That is a possibility, yes.
Do you have any other possibilities?
It sounds like the best conclusion.
There's just one problem. How was the killer able to reach that high?
With the ladder or
Unless
step
they were
ladder.
abnormally tall, it'd be difficult to place something on top of that door.
Well, let's use that as our next point of discussion. How did the killer set up this trap?
To balance the bucket on the door, the killer would need to reach pretty high. Was there anything in the crime scene that could use as a boost? If I can answer that, then it'll further credibility to my theory. Oh boy. Yes.
This is it. There was a stepladder hiding behind the closet door. The killer probably used that. After climbing it, they could position the bucket right on top of the door.
Okay.
Figures.
Yep.
My precious stepladder? You think the bad guy used my super duper obvious stepladder?
What?
Match point. Occam's razor.
Yes, it appears our killer didn't care much for subtlety. No matter how obvious it seems, it's the only answer that makes sense.
It was the only knickknack of its kind, too. If there's something else that killer could have used, it's escaping me.
I see. It makes sense with what we've got so far. But I'm not done yet. I still have one last question for you apes.
Please just leave us alone. Oh, I'm so tired.
You have done nothing whatsoever.
Hey, don't be like that. Grace may be loud, but her questions have really helped our discussion.
What? What?
Anyway, what was the killer doing when that bucket poured onto the girl's head?
Waiting.
He obviously didn't just stand there and observe.
Well, he did. I have to agree, there must be something been hiding somewhere, waiting for her to arrive. Somewhere nearby, I'd assume. Outside the janitor's closet, behind the door, top of the door frame. Well, it would have to be outside the janitor's, right? Back in the back of the... I would imagine it would have to be... I would honestly imagine it would have to be outside the janitor's closet, but I would imagine it's in the back of the janitor's closet would keep you close to the enemy.
I got it.
Yeah. So it looks like I was wrong on that one.
I've got it. The killer was hiding in the back of the closet. If he was pressed up against the furthest shelf and facing the entrance, there'd be a diagonal path between him and his victim. I say diagonal because that's the only way you can make a direct charge forward. Also, when the victim entered the room, she would have been standing with her back to the hallway, right outside the killer's range.
Yeah.
That's why the stab wounds were only made to her chest.
Creating the crime scene we found! Great job, guys! We're actually doing this!
Well, most of us are doing this.
That was the last mystery, right? We must have put everything together now.
Except who?
Even if it's all fake, I feel really bad for this victim.
It's an ugly sight, but she's no victim.
She had a gun for a reason.
Huh?
Well, technically she is, but let's be real. The girl was carrying a gun. She probably provoked the killer, and they killed her in self-defense. It's a clear-cut case of the hunter becoming the hunted, no?
No, Winona's right.
That's no excuse.
I mean... If you... Well, to be fair, would you rather accept death and just allow yourself to be killed, Wolfgang?
What?
There's no justifying murder.
Okay, and Wolfgang is against self-defense.
Killing a woman is the worst thing a man could do.
Okay, what if a woman killed him?
You're emanating a sizable amount of emotional tension. Are you okay?
There's no excuse. There never was an excuse. 28 stab wounds. No girl, no person should ever suffer Cara's fate.
Wait, Who's Cara?
The victim.
It was the victim's name! Didn't anyone read the tablet?
I agree with you, dude. But you don't have to shout out your point.
I mean, everyone's been shouting out their points.
Oi, what's all this about? We figured out the case. Stop trying to drag it on.
I mean, of course we have to solve everything until everyone's happy.
No. We're not finished here.
Huh?
There's no murder without a proper motive. We need to discuss why Cara died.
Because she was about to attack someone.
I am not going this far for a fictional murder case. We aren't looking for a murderer. We're looking for answers. Which we have.
I mean, I can see both sides of this case.
Do you turn in a half-finished exam, Winona? An essay without its conclusion?
I mean, I do, because I've run out of time.
This isn't about efficiency, this is about being right. Or do you, a supposed entrepreneur, not value integrity?
What the hell?
Let's just talk about the motive. There's no harm in doing that, right?
Right.
Well, what was the motive? Was the killer fighting for their life? Or were they going out of their way to murder?
Maybe the gun freaked him out.
If I was in the killer's shoes, I'd definitely be nervous.
You are carrying around a quiver of arrows.
Thing is, well, acting out of self-defense is possible. Since when does it look like this?
Given the severity, I'd liken it to a crime of passion.
Something done on impulse?
What if they were frightened? A spooky thing might have set them off big time.
I mean, frightened seems like the biggest answer so far, because, like, they were safe inside the janitor's closet with, you know, like, if no one went inside, no one would have gotten hurt.
That's wrong. There's no way this was done in self-defense. No matter what excuse the killer uses, it doesn't change the fact they have blood on their hands.
Okay, but that doesn't change the fact if it is or is not self-defense.
Yo, bud, you seem a little pressed.
Silence! I won't allow this!
Okay, wow, things are getting emotional. Well, you're only using logical arguments to further the trial so far. Now might be a good time to change your approach. Introducing Pathos Mechanic. So this is new. Okay. During non-stop debates, the emotionally charged commentary of your classmates will appear in purple text. Okay, so that's what this is. Okay. You can absorb the Pathos statement hovering over them with E or left click, left trigger maybe. Okay, so find a weak spot. Okay, cool. I see. I think I see what it is. So while Damon only uses logic, we have to use someone else's emotional answer to stop Wolfgang. Let's hear everything first, because we're going to have to absorb and then go back to a later date.
To kill Cara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
Self-defense is always a decent...
Take a chill pill, man.
I agree with Kai for once.
You expect me to stay calm?
Yes.
This was the sadistic killing of one of humanity's brightest.
How would you know?
We shouldn't make a lot of assumptions about the killer's morals. This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
How do you know they already won?
But how can we do that?
I think it was already said that they went.
There's no reason to trust you if you have no proof.
So says the ultimate liar.
Yeah. Was this murder justified, or was it truly unforgivable? I feel like I'm obligated to find the truth.
To kill Cara.
Okay, there's only one.
Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason to trust
There we
you
go. Lawyer's
if you
introduction.
have no proof.
So says the ultimate liar.
Okay, so I'm assuming if I get this wrong, I'm gonna have to... Right, cool.
To kill Cara so easily and without restraint.
Why do I shoot this though?
There is no way to justify this.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm?
Yes, especially in this situation.
Was the sadistic killing of.
Oh. Nope. Guess I was wrong.
We shouldn't make
Sadistic killing, self-defense.
Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves.
How can we do that? There's no reason to trust you if you have no proof. So says the ultimate liar.
Okay. Who do we side with? But I do think it's self-defense.
No.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm?
I guess that I can just.
Sadistic killing of one of you.
I don't see how that relates.
Yeah, it's not.
To kill Cara so.
Shouldn't make a lot about the killer's morals. This could have been self-defense.
Oh, missed. Ah, I've missed it.
Do that. There's no reason to trust you if you
Cool.
have no.
Now I have to pull all the way around again. At least I know if I get it wrong, it lets me keep the bullet. That's pretty useful to know. Well, missed it.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
Killer,
Oop, well.
dead or alive.
There's no.
No, that's wrong.
We have a reason to trust it. Well, because he is a lawyer, I guess.
Expertise shouldn't be overlooked here. If there's anyone to believe, it's the lawyer.
That's fair.
Hey, what?
Wolfgang has spent his life in the courtroom and on the crime scene. He'd understand the criminal mind in ways we can't possibly imagine.
Is it because he is a criminal?
He was even emotionally invested in a murder case he'd never seen before. If his lawyer's intuition tells us that the killer was in the wrong, then we have no reason to disagree. We're all ultimates for a reason. We need to trust in talent.
That's odd coming from Damon, who at the start of this was complaining this is the people he was stuck with.
Well spoken. If Wolfgang is adamant about the killer's intentions, we should have faith in him.
Yeah, Wolfgang's clearly trying his best for us.
Let's trust in the lawyer and his bargain bin buddy.
Really? Really?
Hey! If it means going home, then new guy's convinced me.
Right on! Team Wolfgang all the way!
Thank you all for your support.
Well, Eva, do you still disagree?
Even if I did, it's not worth pursuing. Does this mean we're done here?
No.
Hey! We're Disembodied Voice! We've figured out your stupid case. Now let us leave!
Oh, you're finally done. In all honesty, I stopped paying attention a long time ago.
Then why did you have us do this?
What? We only went through this case because of you.
Yep.
Silly me, I have a short attention span. So, just for my own benefit, why don't you summarize the information you've learned?
Okay, closing arguments.
It'll be good practice.
Practice?
Fine. I'll do as you ask. I'll present the truth.
We'll present the truth together. Let's dig into it.
Okay. Okay, then, so it looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Comic book, relatively. What are we... Is it an actual comic book, or is it going to be left or right? Use the wires to navigate. Press space bar to select panel. And then left key. Okay, cool. Don't forget Q and E. Those flip between pages. Okay. Okay, that's where I'm looking. In the Jason's closet. Opening the door. Hold on, we'll just, alright. That would probably be this one. Maybe this one? Yep, there we go. Then what do we have? We have going up the step ladder. which would be here. Oh, no. Killer reached the door frame. Here, there we go. In the janitor's closet. Cool. Clawing at the victim's neck. I suppose here. Cool. This one. Fair enough, yeah. I really don't know which way I'm supposed to be reading this, I guess.
I got it.
Oh, cool.
The victim was Cara Koskinen, the ultimate teacher's aide.
Okay. Oh, I like this music.
Right before her death, she was wandering around the academy carrying a large assault rifle.
For reasons we have yet to understand.
That was probably when our unnamed killer, who was armed with a knife, spotted her.
And decided he'd put her to eternal rest. He slid inside that little janitor's closet, where he began hatching a deadly scheme.
Everyone's having a turn.
Aye, they needed a way to surprise the victim, who was better armed.
Yeah.
The
I like that,
killer
though.
grabbed a bottle of bleach from the closet and poured its contents into a bucket.
That's because they wanted to blind Cara by splashing the bleach in her eyes.
Sneaky little bastard.
But to do that, they would need to set a trap and catch the victim by surprise. The killer moved a stepladder behind the closet door and climbed up it to reach the door frame. There, they carefully placed the bucket.
That way, when the victim opened the door, the bucket would empty its contents all over her.
After completing this setup, the killer retreated to the far end of the janitor's closet and waited for the victim's arrival. The killer could have made noise to attract the victim's attention. Either way, the victim tried to open the door.
I mean, wouldn't making noise make the victim suspicious?
And, the bleach splashed all over her. Her scalp, face, and eyes were severely burned.
Youch!
Thanks, Jet. Major contribution.
The killer leapt from his hiding place and began viciously attacking Cara. In his fit of rage and cruelty, he stabbed her from the front 28 times.
While being stabbed, the victim tried to fight back by clawing at the killer. This,
Oops. But you were.
however, it didn't deter the killer, and the victim eventually died.
At present, we don't have enough information to reveal the killer's true identity, but their actions haven't been forgotten. That is the truth behind this case. Well, are you satisfied?
Are you?
A measly 3 acts. Poor horse would be beside himself.
Who the hell is...
No one cares! We've done your end of the bargain. Now let us out already!
You mean your end of the bargain? If you did the voice's end of the bargain, then you ought to be outside.
That is what I promised, isn't it? Alright, I'll let you leave this room. But before I do, may I be frank with you all for a second?
Only a split second.
This entire time I've been hiding behind a speaker, afraid to show my face. My heart tells me you'll react cruelly to it. However, my head, it raises a compelling argument. Who cares what others think? Shouldn't I get to have a little fun once in a while? Yes. Let's do away with these silly boundaries already. It's time we meet face to face.
Cool. Face to face.
What was that all about?
Means we get to see the mastermind. Well, not the mastermind.
Everybody,
the mascot.
look over there!
Hello there. You look pretty human.
Toss away those pickaxes, peasants. The walls have finally crumbled. What will you do now that you've reached the other side? Will you treasure this new land? Serve it?
Probably not.
Or will you set it ablaze?
Sounds fun.
Well, peasants, have you made your choice?
Eloise, that's kind of what he was talking about when he said it would react poorly.
Yo, what the fuck is going on?
Thank you, Jet. This person has voice.
Are you the speaker guy?
No, actually, it's just a random person who showed up after all of this.
Speaker guy? No. You don't address your superiors like that.
What is it with the people in this game thinking they're better than everyone else? I mean, fair enough, this person has the audacity to, because he kidnapped 16 people.
Within the halls of this academy, you'll refer to me by one name, and one name only. His Highness, the great and powerful Tozu, host of the Killing Game.
Tozu, okay. Killing Game?
Well done.
Well, you can call me Tozu for short.
Hey.
Hey, what do you mean, Killing Game?
Show must go
Did you really think that the story would end once we've reached the climax of the case? Quite the contrary. This is only the beginning.
That's...
Of what?
Why the long face?
Isn't it obvious? You, my dear subordinates,
Blood is rushing.
are going to kill each other. That's like... That's not...
Come on.
It's not funny.
But then...
But you said we can go home if we solve the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I give you peasants an incentive. It's not my fault if you took it the wrong way.
What?
What are you talking about? You lied to us.
Rubbish.
Lied? Oh, no. Absolutely not. I'm a fair man. A man sworn to the truth. And if I recall correctly, should you all agree on the right answer, you'll be free. I specifically said you could leave this room, not go home. You sneaky person.
Not okay!
That's... You're a liar. There you go, losing control of your voice. That's how you know you've lost an argument. Logic is a cowardly thing like that. Okay then. I wouldn't have thought it that way. It'll jump ship the moment it's confronted with a challenge. He didn't lie, did he? He said he never lies. So when he said he was the Eden's Garden, this was Eden's Garden Academy, that's also a good thing to know. If he never lies, we can trap him in his own sort of rules. What am I doing believing someone like him? There's no way around it. He's lying.
Dude!
Hey, why didn't you tell us about your dumb game sooner? And watch you peasants run away.
Pathetic.
I can't host a game without any contestants.
Please don't.
Please don't do this. I just want to go home. I want to be with my family. Please, just let me go home.
There's no need to worry.
There's no need to cry, Miss Tolna. Yeah? We're all civilized here. No one is going to kill simply because they've been ordered to. What's this? The peasant has a rebuttal.
Let's see.
A match between unprepared, unfit players. You could hardly call that a match. In much the same way, this game you've proposed a killing game between students who don't have the heart to kill.
Nonsense.
Do you seriously think we'll abandon our morals so quickly?
Hey!
Yeah, that's totally right. I think Kai will. Kai will immediately kill just to get home. We're like super boring people. We don't have what it takes to do something like that. Well, someone who's the influencer wouldn't be an influencer if he was boring, right?
Indeed.
My heart is terribly soft, softer than the most delicate piece of mochi. When I see a fly in the room, I catch the poor deer in a jar and return to her to nature.
I would never.
My mochi heart would melt otherwise.
I see.
I see. That's your argument, is it?
How interesting.
So what has you so convinced? What do you mean? What makes you think the people in this room lack the heart to kill? Do you even know anything about them besides their names and ultimate talents?
Pathetic.
If you do, then tell me regarding killing, where do they stand? Are they okay with murder if it's for the greater good? Are they okay with murder if it guarantees their survival? If where they currently stand on the issue... Hold on. Yeah. If where they stand currently on the issue the same as where they're willing to stand, go on. You've had a couple of hours to get to know everyone. There's plenty of time to learn their life stories, right? Well, I mean, some of us disagreed and said we're willing for self-defense. Should I take that as a no? Goodness, what a surprise. Not. You wouldn't be here, all dressed up in a fancy suit, if you were so naive.
Such a spoiled.
Oh, and one more thing. That trial you just did, that was your preparation for the killing game.
Get out.
How? All you did was make us play detective.
Plot twist.
And for good reason. If one of you is killed, the remaining students will participate in a true class trial. Your objective is to simply uncover the culprit if you can. Using evidence you gathered during the investigation, you'll argue who you believe committed the murder. The result will be decided by popular vote, and if you choose the right person, they alone will be executed, and the killing game will continue. However, if you choose the wrong person, the guilty party will be set free and the rest of you will be executed instead. Those are the rules of the game. Everyone understand? All of us will be executed? That's not fair.
Isn't this lovely?
Really? I think it's one of our most beautiful rules. Everyone has the incentive to participate in the game, innocent or otherwise.
What's happening?
That's insane. You're treating us like pigs to slaughter.
Such
nonsense. All of you have the chance to survive this game. Do you think the common butcher is so merciful? He's got a point about that. By the way, if no guilty party ever escapes, the killing game will end when there are only 2 students left. You may want to remember that. Or maybe you don't care. It depends on what kind of person you are. Out of 16 people here, only 2 will be allowed to survive.
No shot.
2 people, that's hardly better than if someone gets away with murder.
Well
done. I know, that's what makes it so funny. Most of you will die, no matter what, and yet, with every passing trial, you'll all cling to life more desperately.
The show must go on.
And that exact mindset is what causes more murders to happen. Aren't these rules simply brilliant? A perfect test of the limits of human compassion.
I have an appetite for destruction.
I can't wait to see all of you in action. The madman's allowed tinnitus-inducing laughter was suddenly cut off by a well-timed strike from behind. Is this Grace hitting him? Yep.
I've said it a million times, you mangy fucking mutt! I want nothing to do with this stupid game!
Ow, 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 ow! Stop it!
Tozu crying like a baby.
Since you've made it clear you won't listen to reason, I'll just make sure you have no arms to kill with!
Do you even listen to when I talk?
Nope.
I'm not the one doing the killing. It's you lot who are...
Grace drove her fist directly into his stomach. She followed it with another blow, and another, and when it looked like she wasn't going to be satisfied until he was dead, I saw it. From out of nowhere, a tiny red dot appeared on Grace's face. Oh no.
Hey! Stop already! There's a...
But before we could do anything... The sound of a gunshot echoed throughout the ears. Okay, so she wasn't killed, but... Grace releases the man from a grip. Speechless, she moved her hand to her cheek, which had been nicked by a stray bullet. We all looked in the direction the shot came from. The shooter stood silently by a pillar, a trail of smoke rising from the mouth of her rifle. Her mask, designed The design was a panther instead of a goat, but it was clear she was working with him.
You
shot at her.
For real?
I mean, come on, Desmond, you could probably aim better than she could. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Cassidy, all I know is that Cassidy's just a reference machine. Right, because there's one that I missed. There's this one, which is Star Wars. Pretty sure there's more that I don't recall at this very moment. Everyone slowly backed away from Tozu, suddenly fearful for their lives. What a shocking and unnecessary display of violence.
You think?
Yeah. I was talking about the golfer woman. Well, now that you've become acquainted with our enforcer Mara, if any of you kids try to jeopardize the killing game, such as by attacking me, she'll be there to put an end to your shenanigans.
Pardon me.
Even though she misses her shots? That was just a warning. Yeah, we want as many players as possible, don't we? I assure you, it'd be unwise to further test her sharpshooting ability.
In any case...
Regardless, I finally have an answer to your previous question. Meh? You asked if I knew anything about my friends besides their names and talents. Truthfully, I don't, but I'll continue to trust them as if I do. Because they're ultimates. They are charged with the betterment of society. They've been proven themselves to be above simple acts of self-interest.
We will not succumb!
Even if you trap us, fire guns at us, and force us to endure farcical courtroom procedures. He's right. Grace was trying to compose herself, still clearly shocked by her run-in with death.
Don't test me.
No matter how weird these guys are, they're talented. Do you really think an ultimate would fall for this nonsense? That's right, my friends and I have too much to live for, and too much to achieve. We won't throw it all away for your killing game.
Don't get it mixed up.
We're all going to escape. We have to. Well, one by one, the students raised their voices in solidarity with Wolfgang. All of them were so confident in what they were saying, so willing to blindly put their faith in each other. And for some reason, it made me sick.
My.
This is why you're the snake, Damon. Never underestimate the strength of a human connection. I'm quite familiar with this idea. What kind of captain would I be if I couldn't even handle a small crew of 15? Why is this horrible feeling of contempt? Why do I feel like this? Why do I feel this way when everyone else seems so hopeful? The voice inside me was answered by another.
No.
You got it all wrong. The students turned their attention to Eva, surprised by her words. Do you actually believe no one will try and kill? You're really naive. I don't know how you made it as a lawyer. Well, instead of resorting to random ad hominem attacks, why don't you explain your reasoning?
It's the truth.
It's obvious. Compared to normal people, ultimates are more prone to killing, not less. Living with constant praise from the public has ruined our sense of self. If you need examples, just look around the room.
What a joke.
Excuse me?
Look.
In the outside world, ultimates will do anything to further their own goals. The same is probably true here. Once you realize your dreams can be achieved if you escape, you'll resort to murder.
Can't you see?
If you continue to convince all of these people to trust each other, they'll only be more vulnerable. Unless that was your goal, that was your plan all along. Is it possible you want everyone to make everyone vulnerable? So that it'll be easier for you to kill them? That's
enough.
I mean, to be fair, if we all rely on Wolfgang that much, he will have all the power to lie whenever he kills. Suddenly Ingrid stepped in front of Wolfgang protectively. Wolfie's done nothing wrong. He's given us all a vote of confidence. Yeah, it's something we all need.
Please.
So stop trying to turn us against each other, please. The horrible feeling grew stronger as the other students admonished Eva. Even though Eva's right, really. He grew stronger and stronger, and I knew I had to say something. Eva's right. Huh?
No!
Damon, not you too.
I know.
Look, I get it. You want to make the situation less scary for everyone, but Eva made a good point. All of us have a clear motive to leave this place, even at the cost of other people's lives. Whether it's to just see our families again or for the sake of our talent.
Don't say
No, I would never kill anybody.
That's not it.
Dana, you yourself admitted that you had too much to achieve. Don't you see how that's playing into the masked man's hands? This whole, well, we're all ultimates thing is pretty inane anyways. After meeting all of you, it's clear none of us have the same goals.
Hold on.
What are you insinuating? Don't we all carry the same obligation to improve the world we live in? Yes, but we don't do it in our own way. This question angered me more than anything that had been said before. I could no longer suppress my true feelings. Look, the title barely means anything nowadays, right? Alright? Most ultimates are just dullards obsessed with some pointless hobby. The talents don't contribute anything of worth. The only thing they're capable of is leeching off public attention for the wrong goals. I mean, true for Kai, true for Grace. I don't know. I don't know about, well, Ulysses, Jean, Winona, they've all got, like, I'd say decent talents. And Ingrid. Maybe Mark, yeah?
You've got to be kidding me.
Running a business that feeds millions is pointless.
No.
Some of you are an exception, obviously. But come on. There's no way the rest of you can improve the world we live in with your niche fixations.
That was very...
Don't you mean the rest of us? You're an little bit too. Yeah. What the hell makes you so special? I could feel their words worming into their way into my soul. What makes you so special? I can achieve many things with my talent. I can argue policy, consider ethics and morality.
Yeah.
Better yet, I was the one who got you guys through that trial.
Really?
Is that really what happened? I remember all of us helping out.
Shrimp?
Yeah, I see what's going on. You think you're better than us just because you can say words nobody understands. Pretty much. That's how Damon thinks, yes. Well, that kind of stuff's relative. Like, tell me what a dragster is. Do you know? Watch your step, lest you trip and fall from unparalleled heights of your vanity.
Not good enough.
I'm disappointed in you. How are you so concerned and make yourself look good when you're in the middle of a death game?
The hell?
Wait, I wasn't trying to... It's no use, they turned it against me, hurling obscenity scowlings and simply shaking their heads.
Isn't this lovely?
Ooh. Do I sense anger, hatred, unquenchable sense of bloodthirst? Well, save that for later. I'm the only person who can spill blood in this courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator will take you back to the killing game arena. We've cleaned up the crime scene and prepared a dorm room for each of you.
Get lost.
Thanks. Now can you get lost?
Good evening.
Okay. You return to his podium with the masked woman trailing closely behind. The bizarre mechanism that brought us into the room lowered the two of them into the ground out of sight. Okay.
Hey.
Still. We're not going to kill anyone, right guys? No matter what happens, we're all going to make it out of here, okay? It was only when the madman had left that reality had truly begun to set in. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, look at Jet and Mark. Jet has been around Mark all the entire time. I'm trapped in the killing game with people who despise me. I mean, not Eva. Eva didn't despise you. How did this happen? Because of your attitude? I just wanted to help. I wanted to make sure that we didn't trust each other too easily. And now I'm being treated as the bad guy. Will these people practice what they preach? Will they really refuse to kill? Can I trust anyone here? For better or for worse, it's me versus them. So cued the beginning of the end. The beginning of the unfathomable nightmare. An unrelenting despair. The beginning of the killing game. Oh boy. We know where that music is. Well, that was definitely something. I was woven by stitches and needles. Well, that was the prologue for Project Eden's Garden. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully, this project manages to stay on course. And pretty much, yeah. I'd happily wait to see how this ends and who makes it out to the end. I guess I'm gonna have to, at some point, say my thoughts on everyone, I guess. But yeah. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully I can see you in the next one. With that, goodbye.